Hey, this is Derek Davis from Babylon AD, and you're watching CMS TV.
It's the great Coverdale page with Feeling Hot, featuring David Coverdale and, of course, the legendary Jimmy Page.
Yes, sir. So who would be considered the CMS archivist, you or me? You, I would think, right?
What do you mean by that?
Scarfoot in the chat room. Would be nice if we posted a playlist post show. Like, do we not post enough shit? Jesus Christ. We post on 4 or 5 different video platforms, 2 different podcast platforms.
About the music?
I guess. I don't know.
Like the music playlist?
Yeah. Like every week you would put together a Spotify playlist of the songs.
Yeah, here's the songs we played this past Saturday.
No, we're just not doing that.
Make your own playlist.
Yeah, keep track. You be the guy, Scarfoot. We're not doing that.
Here, this is what we played this past week.
Yeah. You know what? We're just not doing that.
There were just so many good tunes. I just want to relive the moment.
And you know how many people would listen to that playlist? About 6 a week. It would get absolutely 0 traction. I mean, none.
Well, our good friend Sal is always saying that he's discovering a new tune or a new band because of our playlist.
Well, good for Sal. That's one.
Sal loves the tunage.
Well, good.
Although he said that you pick up what was the term he used? He said that Chris always picks
I picked songs that we don't play all the fucking time. I know what I pick.
Yeah, I know. What was the word he used? He said something about can't find what he said that right after we come out of that. Chris always picks jag-off tunes coming out of a paid segment. What's a jag-off tune? Something
Sal doesn't like. Fuck you, Sal. Keep listening to your TNT records and your Dokken records and your fucking Stephen Piercy lollipop, okay? I go out of my way to make sure that you guys hear other stuff that's going on, you dickhead. Holy fuck.
That's funny.
I mean, that's honestly what I do is I listen to music all week and I try to find songs.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I haven't heard this one in umpteen years, or this one's a hidden classic or something. Yeah.
Or new bands that we just haven't played, which is on purpose. It's absolutely on purpose. If you want, Sal, I can start. All right, Neeley, at the end of this break, I'd like Nothing But a Good Time by Poison. All right. And to close the show tonight, I would like Round and Round by Rat.
Yeah. I don't think we've played any Poison on this show in years.
We shouldn't. No, and we shouldn't. I mean, holy fuck. Whatever. You can't please everybody, and you certainly can't please a drunk on his fucking meds.
All right. Do you have anything in particular, or do you want me to jump into something here?
Well, you can either jump into something, or I have something that will immediately enrage the entire listenership.
Really?
I do.
All right. Well, mine's kind of short.
All right, you go first, and then mine is definitely long.
Okay. All right. I don't know if you've been following this at all. I know you're busy with other things, but are you familiar with the former Howard Stern sidekick, Stuttering John, and all the controversy he has out there with his video podcast he does?
Oh, yeah. With the who are these podcast guys?
Yeah, with that, and of course Kumia, and so on and so forth. And he supposedly ran a scam. I guess he must be really desperate.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it sounds to me like this guy's probably like broke.
It could be. Who knows?
And I guess he was running a scam, or Cumia actually called him out on it, and he had to take it down to where he was quote unquote having like a raising money for one of his quote unquote fans that were going through cancer treatment.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then,
let's do this before you even go into this.
yes.
All of this is allegedly.
Alleged.
Because this dumb shit will try and sue anybody that says anything bad against him.
Yeah,
So
well, I'm just recapping what
other people have said. Exactly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
But it just got really stupid.
Right.
Now he was trying to sue SiriusXM. Are you familiar with this?
I did not know he was trying to sue Sirius, but okay.
Well, what it is that SiriusXM plays the archive Howard Stern shows.
Okay.
From his entire history, the Howard Stern history on broadcast.
Sure.
And of course, Stuttering John was a integral part of Howard Stern for probably a good decade.
Mm-hmm.
And so he thinks that his participation in the Howard Stern show on the replay, he should get some money for being part of the replay.
Yeah, except for you volunteered to be there and you got paid already to be there.
Right.
But go ahead. Okay.
Former Howard Stern sidekick loses his SiriusXM appeal. John Melendez was seeking unspecified damages for the Stern reruns. If you were too young to experience it at the time, it's hard to overstate just how huge Howard Stern was in the 90s. While his self-appointed title of King of All Media may be a bit much, he had a far reach beyond any other radio broadcast, hosting the MTV Movie Awards, writing a best-selling autobiography, Private Parts, then starring in an adaptation of it, and even making a song with Rob Zombie for the Platinum soundtrack. Don Imus could never do this. He was also a prolific television producer and even ran for governor of New York. He also continues to openly contemplate running for president. It's unclear how serious he is. Stern, as he readily admits now, built his entire, Stern, as he readily admits now, built his entire, missing a word here, I'm going to say career.
Okay.
On a very juvenile, fratty style humor that was often criticized for being demeaning to women and was very oftenly racially problematic.
Well,
he owned up to that in recent years.
Good for him.
So I guess he gets a pass then, huh?
Well, because you know how he votes.
Yeah. Everybody else who was racially problematic or even disparaging toward women, between the whole racist thing and the Me Too movement, they get burned at the stake. But Howard Stern, nope.
That's right. Look at that picture of John. Jeez.
Let's take a look here. What am I looking at? Oh, yeah, I know. That guy, how old is he? He's only like 50, right?
I'd say about 93.
Yeah, holy shit. Look at that guy.
He looks old, that's for sure.
Oh, man.
I think the pressure's getting to him.
I think he's only like 52 or something like that. I don't think he's that old.
Well, let's find out. Stuttering John. Oh, there's the wiki. He's only a couple years older than 57. He's your age.
Oh, he's my age. Okay. Boy, he looks like a wreck.
Oh, there you go.
Yikes. Yikes.
That might be a bad picture. I literally just grabbed the first one that I found. So
he looks like a hobo.
And I looked up Stuttering John 2022, and that was the first one that showed up.
Well, anyway, getting back to the story, following the controversy of Janet Jackson's Super Bowl appearance in 2004, which is now understood in many quarters as Jackson getting punished, scapegoated, blacklisted for accidentally, likely due to misogyny and racism, the Federal Communications Commission began a crackdown on alleged indecency.
Mm-hmm.
Stern bristled, but also could see which way the winds were shifting. He also felt that the FCC was targeting him for his criticism of President Bush. He signed a then record contract of $500 million with the company then known as Sirius Satellite Radio.
Right.
It gave him creative freedom, and it also ensured that he was protected against charges in cultural taste and other mores. He's also has a dedicated audience until the day he retires, but being on paid subscription service has arguably decreased his cultural reach as the continued splintering of the media landscape. So if Stern isn't as huge as he was in the 90s, a lot of other things aren't as big as they were either, and he's still massively popular, so much so that the company now known as SiriusXM Pandora still plays old episodes that Stern has the rights to on one of the company's 2 channels dedicated to him. That use of Stern reruns, which he obtained the rights to in a settlement against CBS Radio in 2006, prompted a lawsuit from a former Stern sidekick. John Melendez was one of the Stern sidekick from the Howard Stern Show from 1988 till 2004 before heading to the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. His stage name was Stuttering John, which Stern bestowed upon Melendez due to his lifelong speech impediment. The name seems problematic, and albeit now, and served as an example of how much of Stern's shock jock humor has aged poorly, though Melendez does continue to host the Stuttering John podcast.
Okay.
What do you mean it aged poorly?
Didn't age poorly to me. It's still fucking hilarious.
I mean, he's Stuttering John.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even all that old Stern stuff is great.
Yeah.
Better than anything today.
I mean, without Stern, nobody would know the name Stuttering John.
Of course not. No.
And as this article just mentioned, his podcast is called Stuttering John.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It seems that Stern and Melendez have had a falling out for a variety of financial and creative reasons. Melendez filed suit 2 years ago against SiriusXM for rerunning old episodes of the Stern Show. He argued that the company purportedly used his name and voice without his express permission, and that a California law gave him the exclusive right to his name and voice. But a judge dismissed the case at SiriusXM's request, ruling that the federal copyright law preempts state law in that case, and that he was unable to prove that SiriusXM made money off of his name, rather than, as noted in the New York Post, off the archival episode excerpts they aired that featured his voice. The commercial advantage Sirius gains from playing the Howard Stern Show archive and running the advertisement flows from the rebroadcasting of the copyright sound recordings themselves, not from Melendez's identity.
Yeah, dude, this is a ridiculous law. The bottom line is he was an employee of the show.
Right.
I'm quite sure that was fucking implied, was that any rebroadcasts would be the property of the Howard Stern Show or whatever entity owns the tapes.
Sure, absolutely. Melendez appealed the verdict. His lawyers argued that the show and SiriusXM should have paid him directly for years of creative work tied to the program. According to Melendez, he is featured in nearly 13,000 hours of Stern archives. But now Manhattan's Second Circuit Court of Appeals has unanimously upheld a lower court's 2021 decision, tossing Melendez's suit, finding that SiriusXM doesn't owe Melendez any damages and that the company promotional materials containing Melendez's voice were tied to the shows themselves.
Hold on, I'm going to stop you for a second. Here's my question to John Melendez. Does he think that his guests on his podcast own the rights to the podcast that he's having them on?
That's exactly right. See,
it's the same question.
Well, the only time that these kind of suits come up is when there's money involved.
Yeah. But if John's site is monetized, say, for YouTube.
Yeah.
Does he owe every guest a piece of that, like his podcast?
Well, that's a good question.
That seems to be what he's suing and saying.
Yep. And if he were to have a website where his podcasts are available for replay,
yeah,
he should pay every one of his guests or participants on his podcast for every time it gets replayed.
That's right. Because that's what he's saying.
Exactly. To the extent that Melendez appears in SiriusXM promotional material, his appearances are in connection to a product to which he has a very relevant connection. The Howard Stern Show, in which he appeared as a prominent cast member for over 15 years, one judge wrote. That's it. So he gets shit.
He shouldn't get shit. I mean, he was a participant and an employee for a lot of those years.
Yeah.
But even if he was just an intern, he's still, I don't know this to be true. I don't know the inner workings of the Howard Stern Show, but I'm going to assume that CBS Radio, having worked at CBS Radio for 8 years myself, I'm going to assume that as an intern, he had to sign paperwork saying that he willfully would be a free participant on the show.
Right.
I guarantee you he signed something to that effect. And I'm sure that's all they have to produce is that, which might be hard because the whole thing has been sold to SiriusXM or to Stern from CBS, but I'm sure they could find the paperwork if needed. Yeah. What a dumb suit.
Well, he's reaching for straws. He's trying to, try to get some money from somewhere, because just from what I've seen on his podcast and what I've heard from other, who are these podcasts and from Kumia and stuff, this guy doesn't have a pot to piss in.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very good. I do check out. It's funny because the Who Are These Podcast guys, I don't know most of those podcasts, so I don't really watch a lot of their episodes. They are funny. I will say those guys are pretty funny.
I watch their stuff. I know Kumia is pretty close with most of those guys.
Sure.
He appears on their broadcast, fairly frequently.
Sure. But when I see Stuttering John is on it, I always check it out because they torch him fiercely.
Well, he
and rightly so.
He comes off as he's a stuttering boob.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't come off as being very intelligent at all.
No. Did you watch the one where he went to Washington to meet with the senator?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, that's to give a plug for the Who Are These Podcast guys. You look them up on YouTube. Just look up Stuttering John Goes to DC, because John, he kind of details everything that he's doing, and it's all fucked up. He has no passes, no nothing, but he's trying to sneak into to meet some senator. I mean, the whole thing was just ridiculous. And he's complaining about how much his room costs for his hotel and, his Uber costs. And I was just like, dude, really? Are you really that broke that you're going to be like, well, it was $165 a night at blah, blah, blah. I was like, dude, seriously, you volunteered to go there. And you're complaining about the cost when you volunteered to go there. Dope.
Exactly. And real quick, and then we'll get into your thing here.
Yeah, sure.
We're talking Howard Stern here anyway.
Sure.
So apparently this is big news. The germ-fearing king of all media, Howard Stern, finally emerged from his apocalypse bunker. Infamous germaphobe and COVID-fearing Howard Stern, who has been broadcasting from home since March of 2020, went out to dinner in public for the first time since the start of the pandemic.
Wow. How'd they find a bubble to fit him?
Yeah, I know. Who is he? Howard Hughes?
Yeah, pretty much.
Stern, 68, dined at Israeli restaurant Laser Wolf in Williamsburg on Saturday night with a host of stars, including Jennifer Aniston, close friend Jimmy Kimmel, John Hamm, Justin Theroux, and Jason Bateman.
This guy would have been hated by 1990 Howard Stern.
Of course.
1990 Howard Stern would have made fun of this guy. He would have sent Stuttering John to interrupt the dinner.
He would have. A fellow diner snapped a photo which showed a maskless Stern chatting with Ham as Kimmel sat nearby and submitted it to celebrity Instagram account Dumoy, I guess. Another diner told us Howard was there without even a mask.
Wow.
They all sat at a large table. Howard was seated next to Jimmy and also at one point seemed to be in deep conversation with John Hamm. Stern told restaurant staff that this was his first night out since the start of the pandemic.
How brave, how bold.
Right. Despite his dinner with the host of A-listers, Stern insisted he wants to remain a hermit due to his COVID consternation and called the outing exhausting. I really had an exhausting weekend emotionally and physically, he said on his radio show Monday. For the first time in 2 years, I ventured out of the house. He continued about the dinner. It was just too much for me. It was just too much. I haven't been out in 2 years. Stern explained that Kimmel invited him and his wife Beth out to the outing. While Beth was excited about the offer, Stern was skeptical. I said to my wife, I don't want to go. I'm in a panic. I don't want to get COVID. Shut up.
I thought he was super vax guy.
Yeah. Adding that he and Beth were vaccinated, Stern continued, I know our president has told us that the pandemic is over and everyone is walking around without masks. I still just don't want to get the COVID.
Yeah, who does?
Stern has previously described himself as being super paranoid about diseases and germs.
Oh, that's true.
He retreated to a sprawling estate in Southampton at the start of the pandemic, calling it his bunker of apocalypse broadcast, and continued his morning show from his basement. He even joked that anyone who had come to his house had to be first tested for COVID and wear a hazmat suit. Kimmel 54 even claimed that in order to stay at Stern's house for a few days in the summer, he and his wife Molly had to be tested twice. Plus they weren't allowed to leave the compound, and if they did, they weren't allowed back inside due to the possible exposure to COVID. Stern admitted to the talk show host on his show in 2021, for me, COVID is still going on and I haven't left my house. I can't figure out how to integrate myself. He continued, I've been locked up for so long I haven't gotten COVID. I'm afraid I'll be the one asshole who gets COVID and I'll die, even though people don't seem to be dying that much anymore.
There you go.
The iconic shock jock riled some fans when he didn't want to go back to his New York City SiriusXM studio when it was declared safe and instead chose to continue broadcasting remotely. While he has been seen taking occasional walks in the Hamptons since COVID regulations have loosened up, Stern and his wife have otherwise rarely ventured out, preferring to stay at home with their cats. This is my dream.
Really?
This is my dream, the radio show host told Kimmel, adding that he's happiest when he's at home with his wife. Kimmel, meanwhile, has been trying to coax the famed hermit out of his house. He said, we're worried that we're going to lose you from society because the longer this goes on, the more comfortable you get in your little world, and then it's harder and harder to get out of it. It's unhealthy. Fuck it, I'm being a pussy, I know, Stern admitted, claiming he would eventually start venturing out for dinners with friends.
Oh, good for him.
So there you
so
are.
Brave. So brave. So bold.
It's like, dude, you used to be the most fierce guy people feared, and now you're just like this cowardly lion.
Pussy.
It's like, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
I might get the disease.
Shut up.
Shut it.
Shut up. All right. That's
how in any world, in what world is Howard Stern around people? Even when he is out, he's not out around people. He's got fucking 50 people around him to keep him protected from regular folks.
Yeah. His entourage.
Yeah. What a douche. It's you know what? It's just sad. That's really what it is. It's sad because for so many of us, he was literally a hero.
Yeah.
He was a hero, you know, no fucks given. you know, even when his marriage fell apart, no fucks given. Just kept right on charging. Kept doing his thing. Kept going against the grain. And now he's just a fucking walking step, goose stepping his way, you know, into whatever people tell him to do.
Yep.
What a fucking pussy. Just pathetic.
It is. I agree.
All right. I'm going to switch back to music here, and I'm about to piss off everybody.
Okay.
So somebody sent me this, and I read it and got annoyed.
All right.
This is, well, first, let me tell you, we all know that lists suck.
Yeah, they do.
And lists from Rolling Stone.
Oh, they're always the worst.
They are the worst. Well, this might be the worst of all time from Rolling Stone. This is the top 100 guitarists of all time in order.
They seem to publish this like every year, and it seems to change, and I don't know what they base it on.
Yeah, I don't know, but this is about to make you crazy when you hear some of these picks.
All right.
So I'll just go through listing it, and you can comment, stop me wherever you want to and comment.
All right.
Number 100, Kim Thale from Soundgarden.
Can't say that I would say that guy's identifiable. I mean, is he a guitarist? I don't know. I really don't.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if I was listing 100 guitars, he might make it at the back end of it, but I don't know. He would make it more than some of these people whose names I'm going to read you here.
Okay.
Number 99, Greg Ginn of Black Flag. Never heard. 98, Lee Stevens of Blue Cheer. So now we're going back to the, 60s?
Yeah, the 60s.
You're going to tell me that a guy from the 60s is as good as any of the guys from the 80s, 90s, or 2000s?
Well, he is at the very, very bottom of the list.
True. Number 97, Robert Randolph. Don't know who that even is. Number 96, here's a name.
This guy doesn't have any claim to fame, like he's associated with any artist or band or anything. It's just
not per this list.
No, he's a solo artist.
Let's see. Robert Randolph. OLPH guitar. Robert Randolph. Official site of Robert Randolph and the Family Band.
Okay. Well, when was he around?
Born in 1977. He's not even that old.
Yeah, he's a young feller.
Yeah. He's I don't know any of his music.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see. He's been nominated for 4 Grammys. All right, maybe he deserves to be there. Who knows?
Again, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, 96, just ahead of Robert Randolph, Angus Young of AC/DC.
Really? That far down the line, huh?
Way down at the bottom, Angus Young.
Wow. Okay.
And you start to see where this list is going. 95, Kevin Shields of My Bloody Valentine. Because when I think of My Bloody Valentine, I certainly think they are a better guitar band than AC/DC.
Right, of course.
94, Bert Jansch. Jansch. I don't know who he is. Let's look him up. Bert, Jansch. Bert Jansch is a dead folk musician, founding member of the band Pentangle. You remember Pentangle, right?
Bang Tango.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't remember him either.
Yeah.
So there he is at number 90, whatever. 94. 92 and 93. This guy is so good, he gets 2 picks. Fred Sonic Smith of Wayne Kramer and the MC5s.
Okay.
That is 1,000% a Rolling Stone pick, because nobody outside of Rolling Stone lists anybody from the MC5s as a fucking cutting edge player.
Right.
Just stop it. 91, Robbie Krieger of The Doors.
Okay.
Number 90, Glenn Buxton of Alice Cooper. 89, D. Boone of the Minutemen. Do you know who that is? The Minutemen?
No idea.
Number 88, Dave Davies of the Kinks.
All right.
87, Joan Jett. Anything?
No.
Well, this might change your mind, because right above Joan Jett at number 86, Tony Iommi of Black Sabbath.
Really? He's down in the lower echelons of top guitarists.
Yeah, number 86.
Okay, right next to Joan Jett.
Right next to Joan Jett.
All right.
When I think of even talent, I think of Joan Jett and Tony Iommi.
Wow. Okay.
Number 85. This is right there with Joan Jett as well. Just a little better than Joan Jett. Randy Rhoads.
All right.
On many people's list is number 1, but on this list, number 85.
Right.
Randy Rhoads.
Okay.
Number 84, Eddie Cochran.
Okay.
Here's a guy I always think of. When I'm thinking about guitarists, I always think of this guy as much better than Tony Iommi and Randy Rhoads. Of course, I'm talking about Neil Young.
Wow. All right. Jeez.
Number 82, David Gilmour. Number 81, Derek Trucks.
Okay.
Here's a big name. Number 80, Robert Quine of the Voidoids. I can honestly say, until this minute, I've never heard of the Voidoids.
Better than Tony Iommi, though.
Way better. Way better. 6 points better than Tony Iommi.
Right.
Number 79, Cliff Gallup of the Blue Caps.
Still better than Tony Iommi.
Better than Tony Iommi. Number 78, Robbie Robertson of the band. Number 77, Henry Vestine of Canned Heat.
Okay.
Because when I think of Canned Heat, I certainly think, man, that guitar playing much better than Black Sabbath's.
top notch.
Top notch. Ozzy or Canned Heat? Well, I'm going Canned Heat if I'm looking for some guitar music.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Rhoads could not hold a candle to him.
No, not at all.
He was a Canned Heat.
Number 76, Ali Farka Touré. I have no idea who that is.
His name is Ollie Farka.
I think it's Ali Farka Touré.
Oh,
Maybe Touré's the band. I don't know. It doesn't say of. It just says Ali Farka Touré. Toure.
okay.
75. 11 points better than Tony Iommi. Adam Jones of Tool. Come on. I love Tool. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
This guy is not above Tony Iommi and not above Randy Rhoads. Come on. But you know who is? At number 74, Johnny Winter. Or at number 73, here's one that I know you've thought of elite guitar players better than Iommi. Trey Anastasio of Fish.
It's a jam band, man.
Here's another one way better than Tony Iommi. And I know you must think of this all the time when you're listening to guitar music. Joni Mitchell.
I didn't even know Joni Mitchell was a guitarist.
I didn't either.
Okay.
Number 71, Lightning Hopkins. Probably some blues guy, I'm assuming.
Okay.
Here's a surprising one here. At number 70, Edward Van Halen.
Are you fucking kidding me? Eddie Van Halen is at number 70?
Number 70, Eddie Van Halen.
Wow.
I don't give a shit if you like, I don't care what you like. If you hate Van Halen, you can't deny this guy's talent. All the way down to number 70. 70. But you know who's better than Eddie Van Halen? Coming in at number 69, Steve Howe of Yes.
Does this article even begin to explain how these
Of course not.
guitarists were even ranked? How did they go about ranking them?
I have no idea.
All right.
The article. I just kept the list.
Oh.
Number 68, another guy way better than Eddie Van Halen, Jerry Miller of Moby Grape. No. 67, Link Ray. Now here's a guy, respected guitar player. I'm sure you're a fan. I'm a fan. Certainly, I think he's much better than Eddie Van Halen. Of course, Vernon Reid of Living Color.
Yeah, well, I always thought that.
Of course.
They got that one right.
They sure did. 65, Hubert Sumlin.
Better than Eddie Van Halen.
Of course he is. And Tony Iommi. Number 64.
And Randy Rhoads.
And Randy Rhoads.
Yeah.
Number 64, Mick Ronson.
Hey,
Mick Ronson.
I didn't even know he was a great guitarist.
I didn't either. Number 63, Danny Gatton. Don't know who he is. Number 62, way better than Eddie Van Halen. Of course, Zoot Horn Rollo of the Magic Band. You know Zoot Horn Rollo, right?
Okay.
Here's a guy that was good with a punch as well as the guitar. Mr. Ike Turner at 61.
Wow.
Way better than Eddie Van Halen.
Okay.
59 and 60. This one makes me sick. Johnny Greenwood and Ed O'Brien of Radiohead. Better than Eddie Van Halen.
Because they're a creep.
Yeah. Give me a little Creep. Let me hear the awesome guitar line in Creep.
Right.
Because I'm sure that's what put them way above Eddie Van Halen.
Right.
Don't you think?
I would think so. That did it.
Just listen to that.
Eddie can't hold a candle.
No.
When you were here before, couldn't look you in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather.
Yeah.
You sting like a bee. Oh, that's Ollie.
I wish I was special.
Oh, yeah.
Well, apparently you are.
You're so fucking special. But I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo.
So he plays one power chord and holds it.
Well, that's better than Eddie ever did.
Apparently so.
What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Don't care for me.
Yeah, much better.
Much better.
All right, let's move on.
Much more gooder.
Oh, much gooder. Let's move forward because we got some big names coming up here.
All right. So this guy
Yeah.
from Radiohead, better than Eddie Van Halen.
Way better.
Okay.
Eddie was number 70. This is number 59 and 60.
Wow.
Number 58, Dickie Betts.
Okay.
Number 57, Roy Buchanan. Number 56, Tom Verlaine of Television.
Really, a punk band guy.
Yeah, there you go. Those guys are always guitar elite. All right, here's one. I'm going to advise you, Neeley. I'm going to give you some warning on this. Please look at the chat room when I read this one.
All right, let me pull up the chat. Take a look.
All right.
All right, here we go.
At number 55, Richie Blackmore of Deep Purple.
55.
55.
Better than Eddie Van Halen.
And better than Randy Rhoads.
Better than Tony Iommi.
Of course. Number 54, Jorma Kekkonen of Jefferson Airplane. Much better than Deep Purple.
Damn.
Look, as much as I like to bust on Richie Blackmore, I mean, the riff on Smoke on the Water should put him in the top 10 all by itself. It's one of the most recognized riffs in history. But Jorma Kekkonen of Jefferson Airplane, you know, that big guitar part on Count on Me.
Yeah,
you know.
or no, off of White Rabbit.
Yeah. I mean, come on. See, 53, Mickey Baker.
Who?
Exactly. Here's a guy that everybody thinks of when they think of not only guitarists, but great all-around musicians. At number 52, way ahead of Eddie Van Halen, way ahead of Richie Blackmore, way ahead of Tony Iommi, way ahead of Randy Rhoads. Of course, I speak of Lou Reed.
What?
Lou Reed, number 52.
Lou Reed.
Lou Reed. You always think of him as a great guitar player, don't you?
Yeah, because the Color Girls go do 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 do.
There's some intense guitar licks in that song, Neeley. Apparently you don't remember.
Holy shit.
Let's see, number 51, Paul Kossoff of Free. Way better than Eddie Van Halen.
Of course.
50, Pete Townsend. 49, John McLaughlin.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
48, Joe Perry, Aerosmith.
So Joe Perry, greater than Blackmore, greater than Van Halen.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I mean, he's a good guitarist, obviously, but better than Iommi, Randy Rhoads.
Oh, yeah.
Way better.
Way better.
Okay.
Better than Van Halen. 47, T-Bone Walker. 46. I can't imagine why this guy isn't all right, I'm not even gonna joke on this one. This guy should be an honorable mention top 5 just because of who he is. I don't even give a shit about his playing. He invented the fucking game. Les Paul.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Les Paul should be an honorary number 1, if not a true number 1. He invented the game.
Right.
He should be at the top. Unfortunately, he's not, although he is better than Eddie Van Halen. And so is Frank Zappa.
As a guitarist.
It's a guitarist.
Because Frank Zappa is known for his guitar prowess.
Of course he is. You know who else is better than all these guys? Scotty Moore. Same reaction I had. Who the fuck is Scotty Moore? I gotta know who Scotty Moore is. Let's see who he is. Let's see who this guy is. Who? Yeah, thank you, Black Metal Ray. Who? Well, dude, Scotty Moore, rock critic Dave Marsh credits Moore with inventing power chords on the 1957 Elvis hit Jailhouse Rock. Because when I think of rivals of Eddie Van Halen and Tony Iommi, I think of Elvis music. Don't you?
I do.
Wow. All right. Well, there you go. Scotty Moore in there. Number 44. 43, Eddie Hazel of Funkadelic.
Okay.
Because again, you think of guitars when you think of Funkadelic, don't you?
George Clinton.
That's right. Here you go. Way better. This is another one. This is an obvious one as far as 40 points better than Tony Iommi. Robert Fripp of King Crimson.
Okay.
Number 41, Clarence White of the Byrds. Of the Byrds. Are you kidding me?
Because he turns.
Well, here's one. Nobody's going to argue with this one, of course. At number 40, 30 points better than Edward Van Halen. 45 points better than Randy Rhoads and 46 points better than Tony Iommi. Of course, John Fogerty of Creedence Clearwater Revival checking in. Because that guitar work on Fortunate Son is unreal.
Right. Running through the jungle.
That's right. 39, Brian May of Queen. I've always thought he was overrated. Do you think that he's a great? I don't think he's even a great. I think he's a quality guitarist, but I don't think he ever did anything that was like crazy.
Yeah.
But he's not better than Peter Green of Fleetwood Mac, though. Coming in at 38.
Yeah, he's a good blues guitarist.
That's right. Bo Diddley, speaking of the blues, at 37.
Okay.
Steve Cropper of Booker T and the MGs.
Wow. That's
36.
stretching. Okay.
35, John Fahey. 33 and 34. These guys, another collection of guys way better than Blackmore and Van Halen and Iommi and even Joe Perry.
Right.
Of course, I'm talking about Lee Ronaldo and Thurston Moore of Sonic Youth. Sonic Youth. But they're not as good as number 32, John Cipollina of Quicksilver Messenger Service.
Okay.
Number 31, you could have Eddie Van Halen or you could go surf punk with Dick Dale. Dick Dale. Are you fucking kidding me? Dick Dale, I don't even know if he's still alive, but if whether he is or not, he used to play the fucking Peabodys like once a year.
Yeah, I know. I remember seeing him in the scene all the time.
Yeah, always in scene playing for 25 fucking people. He's not a great guitarist. Not on this level. Not better than Iommi and Blackmore and Van Halen.
He passed away in March of 2019.
Good riddance. I always hated that fucking music. Number 30, Buddy Guy. A guy I once made cry. True story. Interviewing him and talking about the old days. He started crying on me during the interview. Yep.
He got all nostalgic on you.
He did. He started bawling and I didn't know what to do. That's when I was young. That's when I was working for, it was like one of the first interviews I ever did with Bottom Line.
And you went, holy shit, I made a legend cry.
I was like horrified that I made Buddy Guy cry.
Yeah.
But he was talking about the old days or whatever. And then he's like, and then Mabel died. And I was like, oh boy.
Wow. That old guy is still out there playing.
Yeah. He's got to be 100 at this point. But let's see. Number 29, better than all these guys. Rich Ashton of the Stooges.
Okay.
Here's a guy. Now this is a guy, we all know him. Certainly, we all think of him as, he's been mistaken in my list many times as number one. But he's at number 28 here. Stephen Stills.
All right. Shall we take a call?
Yeah, oh, please.
I'm sure it's Tim, but we'll see. Hail and kill caller, you're on the air.
Damn right it's me.
Yes.
Look, I have to say, and obviously the positions are all wrong, but Scotty Moore was pretty legendary. He did
Better than Eddie Van Halen.
No, of course not.
Of course not.
But he did have his own thing, and he did do a lot of those early Elvis records and play with Elvis for a very long time.
Wonderful. That doesn't make him. This is
very,
the top 100 guitarists of all time, and he's 25 or 35 points better than Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah, no, I get it, but all I'm saying is Scotty Moore was pretty pioneering in what he did, and so of course it's Brian May. Brian May deserves to be way up there. That guy, nobody sounds like that guy.
Well, keep listening, Tim, because maybe Mick Mars will be listed here.
Mick Mars will never get listed there. Let's get serious. but no, Brian May is an absolute guitar icon. Anyway, ham and kill.
Guitar icon.
Thanks for calling, Tim.
All right. Go ahead.
All right, let's move on. Number 27, another guy that to me, way overrated. I know he fucking lands on these lists all the time. I don't get it. But at number 27, Mark Knopfler of the Dire Straits.
Yeah, it's always an interesting one that he always ends up on the list.
Mm-hmm. Crazy. Here's a good one that I think we can all agree is definitely better than Ritchie Blackmore, Eddie Van Halen, Tony Iommi, Randy Rhoads. Of course, I talk of Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine and Audio Slave, coming in at number 26.
Yeah, he's in the top quarter.
Yeah, of course. Right above him, Freddie King.
Stand By Me.
Yeah, okay. No, that's Ben E. King.
Oh, that's Ben E. King.
That's Ben E. King, not Freddie King. I don't know who Freddie King is.
I got the King part right.
Yeah, let's see who Freddie King is. Freddie King. Freddie King is an American blues guitarist, singer, and songwriter, is considered one of the three kings of blues guitar, along with Albert King and B.B. King.
See, I was
none
close.
of whom were blood related. There you go.
That was close.
Yeah, none of them are Ben E. King, though.
That's when they were Kangs.
Yeah, when they were Kangs. Probably had a crown in his backseat of his car. Sure he did.
It's an air freshener.
That's right. All right. Well, moving on from Freddie King.
Exactly.
Let's go to another just sheer legend of the guitar and clearly better than Eddie Van Halen by 30,
leaps
35.
Leaps and bounds.
30 points might as well be 100 points. The Edge from U2.
Really? All right.
The Edge.
The Edge.
Has there ever been a guitar part? I mean, I like U2. Don't get me wrong. I like them. Has there ever been a part in a song where you're like, holy shit.
Is that The Edge?
Is that U2 that's riffing like that? Jeez, oh man.
Is that The Edge? He's so identifiable.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just, he's just a riff guy.
Yeah.
But okay, well, The Edge, number 24. Warren Haynes, number 23.
Really?
Always better than Eddie Van Halen, of course. Number 22, this guy should be number 1 in anybody's book. Mike Bloomfield. No idea who that is.
Tubular Bells.
Is that who that is?
Yeah, look it up.
Mike Bloomfield. Guitarist, composer. He played on Bob Dylan's Highway 61. Everybody must get old. Died at 37. Paul Butterfield Blues Band.
Yeah.
I don't see Tubular Bells here. I'm saying it. It's not.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know this guy. He died at 37 though.
Yeah,
Harry cheapened.
He was a young fella.
He cheapened his way out. Let's see here. Where were we here? Oh, here we go. Number 21. Another guitar legend in his time, George Harrison. I've never heard a Beatles song where I was like, the guitars on this are amazing.
I was mistaken. It's Mike Oldfield.
Oh, Mike Oldfield. Okay. Top 20.
They sound the same.
They sound the same. Probably in guitar parts too, but.
Right.
All right, here we go. Top 20. Number 20, James Burton.
James Burton.
James Burton. Top 20.
All right.
James Burton, of course, is American guitarist, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame since 2001, Rockabilly Hall of Fame. Oh, he's played with a bunch of people.
Okay.
Played with Elvis, Ricky Nelson, Everly Brothers, Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard, Glenn Cash. He's played with a shit ton of people. I don't know that makes you the best, just makes you the most affordable.
Yeah, he's still out there playing, believe it or not.
Is he? Wow, good for him.
Yeah, he's an old dude.
Yeah, what is he? 83.
Yeah.
Is he in Gordon Lightfoot's band? Well, good on James Burton. Top 20. 19, Richard Thompson. No idea.
Okay.
Gotta look him up now, too. I don't know him either. Richard Thompson. Richard Thompson, musician. From the folk rock group Fairport Connection. Fairport Connection. Don't know who that is. Well, good on him. Fairport Connection checking in at number 19, I think. Wow. Here's one. Another guy that you clearly think of all the time when you think of the best of the best. John Frusciante of, I think that's how you say his name, of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. 50 points better than Eddie Van Halen. 17, Jack White of the White Stripes. Another guy that's good, but come on. Now, clearly, when you think of guitar greatness, you think of number 16, Johnny Ramone of the Ramones.
Really?
Three-chord guitarist.
I would never think of anybody in punk rock at all as being some kind of a aficionado with the guitar.
Of course not. No way.
I mean, they banged around on it, made a lot of noise with it,
Sure.
a lot of distortion and all kinds of things. But as far as like being some kind of brilliant guitarist, it never occurs to me.
Not at all. All right, number 15, Carlos Santana. Okay, we'll give that one.
Yeah.
14, give this one to Jeff Beck.
Okay.
13, I ain't giving this one. Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead. Stop it. The Grateful Dead were not a good musical act. They were a good jam band and they sounded much better on acid, but they were not that good musically. They just weren't. They're not. That's a terrible one. Let's see here. Here's one. 60 points better than Eddie Van Halen. Of course, I speak of Kurt Cobain of Nirvana.
What? Jeez.
Kurt Cobain.
Really? Way better than Randy Rhoads.
Way better than Tony Iommi and Richie Blackmore. Kurt Cobain.
Really?
Number 11, Kirk Hammett of Metallica. I would argue not even the best guitar player in Metallica. But okay.
He's an adequate guitarist.
Yeah. Hetfield's a better guitar player than Hammett.
We saw him play with Journey.
Yeah, he did a great job. Just kept right on playing no matter what the guy was singing.
Right.
But he's clearly not as good as number 10. Number 10, Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones. The only break I'll give to Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones, some of his guitar lines are iconic.
Okay.
You hear don 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 don, and you,
Or Start Me Up.
yeah, or Start Me Up, or even what's the one, Painted Horses or whatever that song is. The one that's in Casino when they're burying all the bodies.
Wild Horses.
Is that Wild Horses? No, when they're finding all the bodies in the dun, 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 dun. I don't know the Stones, but whatever. Keith Richards, I'll give him a slight pass. He's definitely not in the top 10. Let's not get fucking ridiculous here. Number 9, Jimmy Page. Number 8, Ry Cooter of Cooter Smiles fame.
Yeah, of the Detroit Wheels.
I like him better. He was better with Cooter Smiles.
Right.
Number 7, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Don't agree with that. Just because you're dead doesn't make you good. Chuck Berry, number 6. Robert Johnson, number 5. Eric Clapton, number 4. B.B. King, number 3. Dwayne Allman of the Allman Brothers, number 2. And Jimi Hendrix, number 1.
Okay.
And there you have it. Rolling Stones Top 100.
All right. Well, give me the top 10 there.
Top 10. Keith Richards, Jimmy Page, Ry Cooter, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Chuck Berry, Robert Johnson, Eric Clapton, B.B. King, Dwayne Allman, and Jimi Hendrix.
Okay. Tell me what the top 6 all have in common.
They're old? I don't know. What?
Well, I'm not taking away from their talent.
What?
But in
Top
this
6?
But in this politically charged environment we live in,
What do they all have in common? I don't know.
How many of those are black?
4. It's 4 and 2. Eric Clapton.
What? Well, I know.
And Dwayne Allman's not black, is he?
No. I'm not saying they all are. I'm just asking how many out of that group, the top group.
Well, I don't know. Apparently, they're all better than Eddie Van Halen. I know that.
Well, I'm trying to say that this is one of those. And again, I don't know this. I'm just making an observation.
Okay.
Is this another one of these
woke list?
A woke list that we're elevating these black artists to the very, very top of the list?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm surprised Joan Jett's not up there then.
Because she does have a black heart.
Well, she is a black heart, and she is female. We don't have any females in the top 10.
True. Is she the only female on the list?
Oh, she's the only female that I remember on that list.
The only female.
Oh, Joni Mitchell.
Oh, yeah.
Joni Mitchell.
All right.
So there you have it. The 100 top guitar players by Rolling Stone.
What a bizarre list, man.
Dumb list.
Yeah.
That's just not even correct. Sorry, it's just not even correct.
That's stupid.
That's just a terrible list, but there you have it. I've been holding this one for a little while because I just knew it would make people crazy. These lists are so fucking dumb.
But they never explain how they compile them.
No, because then it would show that they're frauds. Then it would show that half of the picks are just political picks.
Yeah, it's kind of my point.
Well, they'll never do that. They'll never admit to it. They'll never admit to that, dude.
All right.
So there you have it.
Perfect.
Notice who's not on the list, though. No George Lynch. Not that I thought he would be, but no George Lynch. I think George Lynch is probably better than some of these guys.
No Yngwie.
No Yngwie. No Satriani. No anybody that's a heavy guitar player. I guess Kirk Hammett dealt with that, but no Kerry King. Well, Kerry King's not that good, but I can't believe that Hammett's on there instead of Hetfield.
Right.
First of all, that all alone blows me away there, but no Dave Mustaine. I mean, there's some pretty glaring holes here for guitar players,
right?
And you know,
no Steve Vai.
No Steve Vai. Yeah.
Not good enough. Not even to make the list.
No, he's no Kim Thale, that's for sure. Steve Vai, not better than Kim Thale.
Nope.
Or Satriani or Yngwie.
Yeah.
Not better than the guy from Soundgarden. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. All right, well, there you have it. Rolling Stone on top of things as always.
Yeah. Piece of shit rag as always.
Yep.
Thanks, Jan Winter.
Yeah, thanks, you cunt.
Okay. All right, I'll let you pick a tune.
All right, let's go with let me get to my other thing here. My tunes. Let's go with Typo Negative, Tripping a Blind Man from Dead Again.
Wow. That got a little dark, huh?
Yeah. After that list, I want to fucking murder somebody. So Typo Negative it is.
All right.
Plus, I want to piss Sal off. See, playing that shit again. Can't we get more TNT on here?
All right. All right. Well, here's some Typo with Tripping a Dead Man exclusively here
on your classic metal show.
Charlie Kendall's Metal Shop has a new home on the internet. It's ckmetalshop.com. The latest metal news, Metal Shop showtimes with links, plus t-shirts and merch, along with all the metal that matters. Check it out, ckmetalshop.com.
The Classic Metal Show and Chris Aiken Presents are proud to call Rumble our official video platform. No more being censored by fucking YouTube and other big tech platforms. All segments of the Classic Metal Show and Chris Aiken Presents are available now on our Rumble channel. Follow our channel at www.rumble.com/c/CMS. Want it on your TV? Just install the Rumble app on your Roku, Amazon, Apple devices, and most smart TVs. We have the other shitty platforms for the lazy people, but why watch it censored when you can see our shows the way they were meant to be presented? Subscribe at www.rumble.com/c/CMS or search The Classic Metal Show on the Rumble app. Let's